Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Iron Panther Presents. We talk about diversity on this channel, so we shall be discussing the Lesbian Homie, which is a YouTube slash now, well, actually YouTube first, now Tubi show, if you will. But anyway, so we're gonna do that a couple times. All three seasons, which are now available on Tubi, we're gonna talk about them together. There's no need for a season 4, which I appreciate. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You can like on the video and comment on the video and share the video. Watch the video to the end. We're gonna have interesting discussions, and then we're gonna get to some other stuff. So anyway, sit back. All right, let's do it. Oh, wait. I got to do it now. Wait. This is gonna be funny. Wait. You ready? I got to do it.
This is awesome. This is awesome. This is amazing. I love it.
It was psychological. It was emotional.
Extremely entertaining.
But as always, as we try to say here, as we said, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And as we talk about this video, please like on the video and comment on the video, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Yes. If you watch the L Word, you will say, what would happen if a man wrote it? Yes. This is definitely a man's vision into the community that they're trying to break into with their draws. But it was good. It was hilarious, actually. I thought. Anyway, Stacey, we'll start with you since you're a woman. Well, what did you think of the series?
Definitely a man's show. I feel like when men sit around in the dark and left to their own devices, this is what they would come up with. I heard a guy say, like, he was like pining over a stud, and I'm like, why are you? He's like, it's uncharted territory, like, and she thick. So it made sense watching it. I said, this is what men think about when they're alone. And there were like multiple scenes where I was like, felt like I shouldn't be here because this is man shit. Like why am I listening to this dialogue? Like, I feel like I shouldn't be here. But it was entertaining. I got a lot of chuckles out of it, despite my uncomfortability at times. But they missed an opportunity. I feel like, you got, what's her name? You got Reese. They like girls. They like you. Like 2 + 1 = 3. Like, what? Why did the throuple happen? I expected the finale to be a throuple, and it didn't happen. And I was like, how? How did this not happen?
That was one of the biggest surprises in this series, and I respect the creator for not going there, because it seemed like a logical conclusion, right? Like I said, a man wrote a show that every lesbian is basically a woman who just hasn't found the right dick yet, and once she gets it, she'll remember. And then, like, when they both had sex with Bruce, and then they both had sex with each other, I'm like, well, the next logical step, obviously, is we all just need to be together, right? Like, just like the poster shows, and both of these photos. And I was like, I had to, because look at her. Anyway, but I was like, but it didn't go that way. It did not go that way. I'm like, this is good writing. Like, this is good writing to do something, but still make sense though. That she's like, I need to be true to who I am. And I'm not what you want, even though I care for you.
What? That confused me. Like, okay, you can be bisexual. That is actually a thing. It's not necessarily either or. You can have both. So I was confused, like, especially when she told her story about her being traumatized as a child, or not a child, but a teenager. And she never went back to me, and she went to women because of that experience. So are you really gay? Or maybe you just like both. And I didn't understand why. Like, I didn't understand what being true to her was. Like, is it boys? Is it girls? Like, what is it?
It's a good question. Oh, anything else before we get Jemani into this?
I guess for now, that's kind of the gist of it.
Okay. Well, mull on that, and we'll be back. Jamani, please. What were your thoughts? The title. I want when you heard the title, what did you think this was going to be about? Like, what'd you walk in thinking?
Um, I don't know, like a guy, and he has like a lesbian friend, and it like that's his wingman or something like that. Like Wedding Crashers with like I don't know, Vince Vaughn, and then like Ellen DeGeneres or something like that.
All right, all right, all right, all right. And then they find out that they really is about each other. Like they be looking for the right person, and it's right next to them. Right.
So I don't know, but yeah, that when you said that it was on YouTube first, it was like okay, let me prepare myself for very bad quality. Which it was kind of at the beginning. Like that first season, it was like they were doing all types of stuff. It was they had voiceover of I don't know what it was. It was it supposed to be the audience where it would be like what and like different reactions to scenes, and then after every scene, it would to the max.
They were working first. Yes, first season they were trying to get themselves together. Season 2 they're kind of stepped into their own. Like it became an actual show. Like season 3 was like the production value got better over the series. But I still think they did pretty well with the budget that they were working with. It looked pretty legit, you know, and I respected it as a show. Even season 1 was just 2 episodes. But I was like, it was something. It was something.
I'm like, I don't know if this was scripted or was this like Curb Your Enthusiasm, like kind of improv ad lib, because the acting was, you know, like I would. That's the question I'd really love to know, because sometimes it would seem like they're reading off of cue cards, and then sometimes it'd be like, you got to be thinking of this stuff off the top of your head.
I think actually I thought the writing was good. I feel like it was written like scripted because a lot of the dialogue was very consistent. Like the homie lesbian dialogue was very like hood nigga. They just put it in a woman's mouth. No pause. But like it was like this is what a man, straight man believes how gay dykes talk, because they're basically dudes with no penises. And they're and so I feel like the dialogue was
They're just detached, but whatever.
right. Like it's in the closet, which they pull out every once in a while.
Drawer in a nice little velvet pouch.
Which to further show you a man did this, that never happened. Like I feel like they're like the only penises need to be real ones, and we'll take care of that. What's up?
I actually do have some lesbian homies, and a lot of them don't use strap-ons. It's strictly fingers, tongues, toes, whatever, but they don't use. Yeah.
So they're purists, if you will.
Yeah.
And the reason I just thought it was kind of interesting. It was kind of interesting that, well, we're gonna get to that, but I thought I liked the actual character development that like E and Reese and Bruce went through a journey, right? Like between the three of them, like both women were like, who am I? What does this mean? Like I think really Reese and Bruce did most of it. It was really like their story. I think at that point, like E was kind of like the beginning, but Reese I think was like the main one. And because she was always like, I care for you. And then with the mom and the family angle, like that added a whole new thing in season 2, where it's like, oh, the standard movie line of I need you because my parents don't know I'm gay, and let's just fake it until we make it. And then in the end, they make it, right? Like that's usually how the story goes. But she was like, in the end, she was like, I care for you, but I wear Jordans and I wear boxer shorts, and I can't be the feminine woman that you want. So you need to go find someone who can be that. And I like women.
He liked both, because when he had a regular femme straight woman, he gave her some boxers and cut a hole in them.
Yo.
I was like, what is happening?
Hilarious.
Yo, I thought y'all was trying to kill me at some point, because I'd say at least 3 to 5 times throughout this. I had to pause it and try to gather my composure because like I thought I was gonna laugh myself to death. Like I was every time he would explain, it was like every few episodes he would have to explain it to a new group of friends. It was like everybody knows it because he has to explain it to a different group of friends. And every time it never failed. It was still funny as the first time. It never got old.
That's what I'm saying. The writing was really good, y'all. Like, if you haven't watched this show, you really should give it a chance. And if you're homophobic for some reason, it's not a lot of lesbian. Actually, don't. This is not the L word. Like, this is not the L word. Like, there's a lot of hood women, but like they're not always constantly doing that, right? Like, and there's no gay men, which is also very interesting. So I thought, got off of the full range.
Well,
so
there was that one guy who's
oh yeah, the guy that
yeah.
But I'm like, not what you would expect for this type of show. Yeah. So yeah, Big Jaw did this. AKA Bruce, dude in the middle. He did a great job. He really it was well produced and put together. The writing was solid, as Jamani put. It was hilarious from episode 1 to episode 10 of season 3. Like I was like, this is hilarious.
The thing that got me was like in the 3rd season, he brought that therapist in. I thought that kind of brought it down a little bit, but yeah, that was probably like the only thing that kind of slowed the trajectory was that whole he's going to therapy now. Like,
well, it was actually his friend that was going to therapy. And then all of a sudden, it was Tate. Tate was going to therapy, and he was like of a comedy show. He was the comic relief in the comedy show. Like Tate was was gold, bro. And Jason was funny. Season 2 had a lot more Jason with him trying to get his back with his ex-wife, not really ex-wife.
Jason was the funniest.
I love that.
He has to be like a comedian in his own right or something.
He is a comedian. He does it with Kevin on Stage and that little crew. And
really?
They do their skits on I forgot what it's called, but they're on YouTube.
I mean, it was
and the other guy, I believe they're on there.
Okay.
Yeah, they're comedians.
I mean, they definitely got the chops. Like I laughed every time these friends got together, and they're always crapping on Bruce to be like, bruh, boxers? Like, you want them in boxes, bruh? I was like, yo, baddies.
But it still doesn't make any sense. He's like, I'm gonna cut the hole in the crotch. I'm like,
it doesn't make sense.
Boxers already come with a
hole in them, but it's a different type of hole, Jamani.
Yeah,
it's a different type of hole.
Yeah,
like, it ain't made for easy access. That's not. So it's not the same thing. But when he first stuck the dick in E and she cried, I was like, a man wrote this. A man wrote this to be like, I never had a dick so good and big, and I'm like, why are we Bruce? You're doing too much for yourself, bro. Like you're doing too much.
And all your friends then come. That was the part that I was like, nah, all the friends aren't just gonna come.
And they did. Like they all just. I couldn't. They're like, excuse me. That kind of makes sense. I think that it's a woman thing that that's why women should keep their mouth shut, because like women love reviews. And be like, you know what? And be like, okay, Stacey, have you ever told a friend how good a dick was?
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't mean make you, but
possibly.
You possibly told?
I might have let something slip out.
You never gave a Yelp review on a penis?
Pictures and did a brief Yelp review, maybe once, maybe.
You said pictures? All right, look, I ain't trying to get to your business. My fault. My point is that women have a tendency to be like, they want reviews. They want that's why the community dick becomes a community dick, because women talk about how good it is, and then other women are like, well, I gotta try that out. So it kind of made sense that the E's friends were like, let me just make sure that I'm gay. But I'm like, this could have went Pornhub. This could have went there, and it didn't. Like, it focused more on the comedy and more on the friends and more on the people than the sex. And I thought that was awesome, because I thought it was just gonna be like, just random sex scenes and stuff. And it was like, no, it was a genuine story, and you're trying to follow Bruce's efforts again to help E. Well, E was very like one-dimensional, to be real. Like she was a stud lesbian in the beginning, she was in the end. It was really Reese that had more of the journey. Once throwing her family and she the shoe store never came back after season 2. Like watching season 2 is like you're watching a whole different show compared to 1 and 3.
No,
in many
season
ways.
1. No, season 2, episode 1, when he met her at the store. Lace. This is the only store that has a nice. I was like, this is product placement if I've ever heard any, because they just kept saying it like the title of the store.
Is it a real place? Did you look it up?
No, but it has like. Why would you say this is the only store in Los Angeles that has
The black owned?
Yeah, black owned that has a Nike contract.
Called a sponsorship.
Yeah, it's called. Yeah, somebody got to pay for this show, bro. Because these OnlyFans actresses cost money. The casting was amazing, Vaughn. Like I was like, Bruce made it happen. Like he was like, if I'm gonna put myself in the show and I'm the center of it, there will be fine ass big women everywhere. And I was like, to you, sir, to you. But also, they also good looking, but they could somewhat act to some level, like they act like they were believable in their roles. Stephanie Nelson, in particular, I was like, wow, like she really played the homie, but with the titties. And I was like, let's just get those out there. Let's just acknowledge it. And I was like, all right, but her playing basketball really upset me because I was like, she can't really play, but then she can actually really play. Like I saw her, like she actually can make some shots. So I was completely amazed because like I noticed every time she got on the court, they always cut to another scene. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, so can you play basketball or not? Like, I know you're supposed to be a homie, but you got titties. And how do you moving down the court like that? Like, just practically. Like, I don't understand that. I felt like this could have been called Dykes and Basketball. Like, that would have been a good title.
I don't think that. Yeah, with that.
Lesbians in basketball, sure.
Yeah, but
I feel like, which is not, that's a WNBA, but
maybe. Studs in basketball, maybe. Not that.
Not Dykes and Basketball?
No.
I would, if they would have focused on the girls and their basketball journey, like somehow going for a title, like a local title, and they're also getting women and men, that would have been an awesome show too. And then every woman can have their own kind of side storyline. Like they could have went that route, and it still would have been solid. Because like the court was a lot to do with it. It seemed like it was a lot of basketball talk and stuff. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't think it would be a lot of court action. Also, what's up, Mike?
Like I thought that when you watch season 2, it's like they totally erased E. Like the whole, she got on a plane, and I can't remember if she's leaving today or tomorrow.
But she ain't here.
Yeah, and then at the end of the season, it's E, but you don't see her. So it's like, you think that they must have some sort of beef. She was asking for too much money for the second season, and then you see her all throughout the third season. That was a very good surprise. So, yeah.
To your for complete transparency, I watched season 2 first because that was on Tubi, which they act like was season 1. So I was very confused. And I was like, what? And then so I went back and watched season 1 after the other 2 seasons. Then I watched season 3. So I was like, who is E? And I was like, where did she go or where she came from? Why do I give a damn? Because Reese was like definitely season 2. Like Reese and her family and that kind of stuff. Like again, that could have been a whole story movie by itself. And I usually say that sometimes they take a good movie idea and make it an unnecessary TV show. This was an awesome TV show. It had a beginning, middle, and end. And the end made sense. The end, it should have ended, though, with episode 9. Episode 10 was unnecessary. Finding out that Davion and Selena had a baby, I give zero fucks about this couple. What's up, Stacey?
I didn't really get what the point of that couple was. I mean, I understand she was cheating with Reese.
Yes.
But like, are you gay or not? Like, you just go back to the boyfriend and be like, okay, I don't need vagina anymore. Like, what happened? Like, was it just a thing or?
But wait. Go back and watch season 2, and then you realize how we got here in the first place. Davion cheated on her not once, but twice. And then And then this will show she's like, I'm gonna cheat on you. And then she spends the whole second season apologizing. Like, I'm sorry that after you fucked around on me twice, I decided to cheat on you. And he's like, well, I don't know if I can take you back. I don't know if I can trust you.
Realistically, most dudes would be like, okay, whatever. It's a woman, right? But he was like really upset. Even his friends was like, oh, it was a woman, not a dude. Like,
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
All right. So this is the biggest thing for me was, all right. So he reads the text and it's obvious that the person is texting from work. Yeah, I need you to come pick me up on your way to work so we could drive into work together. It's a coworker. He takes it as, oh, she messing with a lesbian again, so I'm gonna go and cheat on her. I was like, how do you jump to that conclusion? And then it wasn't until like the end of season 2 that I realized that Bruce didn't know that Reese was a lesbian, because I was like, I thought you knew that from
jump.
Yeah, it was. I was like, they should have made that a little bit more apparent or ambiguous or something. But it was just like,
how did you?
As an audience member, you're watching it. You're like, how does he not know that Reese is a lesbian?
Well, like some girls that are athletic, it can kind of go either way. Like I remember our basketball team, and some of them were like studish, and some of them were like maybe not, and some were like femme. So I think Reese is kind of in the middle. Like she's not overtly stud, but she's not necessarily femme either. So it could go either way.
So I think that's good acting because she's like Persephone is fine as fuck. Like that. I mean, I understand him looking at her and be like, let's just see where we go with this. But her persona, when he met her at the shoe store, I just would assume she was gay, or at least too manly that I would want to fuck with her in the first place.
No.
So like,
I will submit the store, the party that they had. But when she asked him to pretend to be my boyfriend for my parents, I was like, that should have been a dead giveaway then. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's a movie plot. That's an easy movie plot. But anyway, Persephone is fine. Exactly. E is fire. So we talked about it off camera. E lost, like she looked good, but she looks better now. She lost weight. If you notice on Instagram, she was on this weight loss journey during 2024. And she lost about 50 pounds, but that ass is still there. And I was like, well. Anyway, so just check that out. Just in case she does some more stuff.
Another thing while you're on that, right?
We going on her ass now? What's up, Giovanni? What you got?
Like the beginning of the first episode, or they don't put, the name of the actors. They put their Instagram handles. I was like, I've never seen that.
Because who are these people? You gotta be like, you don't know Stephanie Nelson. You don't like you gotta know Persephone. So you gotta be like, oh, that's her. Like, okay, like they ain't really those kind of stars. So then it's like The Rock. It's like, you mean Dwayne Johnson? Like at some point you got moved past Method Man and be like, I'm a like. So they're trying to move and step out of those guys' social media roles. I'm discovering nowadays that some lesbians are still fucking. Let's have this conversation. Are still fucking with guys on the low, which confuses me. So sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I thought it was started out as they wanted to try it so that they can say that they don't like it.
So no, they told her she should try it. That's what they told E. They two had penis before, and they're like, girl, you haven't had it? And then once she came back and said how good it was, they were like, well, let's try it one more time just to make sure. And all of a sudden they couldn't walk right. And all of them were wearing dresses or some
nails shit. And yeah, they got their nails done. I was like, did make you get your hair and nails done? Like, okay.
So that being said, thanks to Giovanni, there's a post-credit scene to this outrageous show where both of these ladies are dressed as women because they're undercover trying to catch non-lesbians, which I'm sure is a crime somewhere, and they're dressed like women, and I was like, what? And I was like, so I feel like that was like that. They're trying to bring her back to season 1. Or sometimes you got to act like you're not lesbian until you go, surprise, I'm going to lick you. And I'm like, that's not okay. That's not okay. But anyway, we think it could be a spinoff or something, or I don't know why they went back to that.
I'm
But
like, that could only work in that world, because if you tried it in the reverse, that would just result in a fight.
murder,
Yeah.
actually. Let's start with the fact 4 straight men are not going to get into a hot tub together. That's not happening. No. It ain't gonna be like, maybe women could be like, oh, let's just go sit in the hot tub. We're gonna be naked until you call some men over. There's no way in the world straight men are gonna sit naked in the hot tub waiting for women to show up. That's the sign right there, Jamani. Like, I was like, oh, well, I gotta go because somebody's sucking dick up in here. It ain't gonna be me. So
sound like a Diddy party.
I was like, oh, when the baby oil comes out, we gotta have conversations. But anyway, Stacey, please. With that transition.
I did like in the beginning, I thought this was gonna be like a dream, and he wakes up and like none of it ever happened. Like, but no, it actually really happened, and it was like, okay, interesting. But the little nicknames they kept giving him was like, what they call it? Like the stud finder, and they had so many different names, and I was just like, this is gold.
Stud hub. I think that was one. If there shouldn't have been one, the writing was absolutely.
This thing should have been called Study Buddy.
I think they did say something like that.
I feel the song that they came up with in season 3, like they were singing songs. You gotta watch this show. Shit, it is now, to Jamani's point of being too much. Like, I tried to binge this stuff and I had to take a nigga break. I was like, it's a lot here. Let me decompress and get back to nigga. And I was like, it's a lot, but you will be cracking up if you have not watched this show. It is absolutely hilarious. Fingers. Anyway, we'll get to that. I won't say that for the end. All right. Anyway, so relationships. So we got Robert and Nadia. So Robert in season 2 was Reese's brother, which never comes back in season 3. And he ends up engaged with Nadia, like her friend. And I was like, okay. Then you got Davion and Selena have the baby, which I thought that baby was going to belong to somebody else. I'm like, why are we seeing this shit? And he got a mechanics. He almost like some kind of mechanic shop, like. And I was like, that's good, because I was expecting for him to open a food truck. Because for some reason, the only thing a job black men can have is a food truck.
That's only if you go to prison, or if you're committing a crime. Like if you're a drug dealer, you have the food truck, or if you just got out of prison, you have the food truck.
Correct. I was like, so he didn't go to jail, so that's why he can do other things besides the food truck. But be damned if he would. That's another thing. No one in here was straight out of prison. Let me give 5 points to this show. I saw a show full of niggas, and none of them were drug dealers, and none of them came out of prison or was going to prison or was on parole. And I was like, you know what, Bruce? Points.
And no DNA issues.
No DNA issue, which I thought was a wasted storyline with Selena being pregnant, because again, don't give a fuck. But then Davion is like stalking her, and I'm like, that's a crime. But he's like, hey, almost like, it's like Pepe Le Pew. Like, this gives you that Pepe Le Pew is right, almost. Like, if you pursue a woman long enough, eventually she goes, okay. I mean, I get it. I mean, maybe it's just love, and I just haven't seen it yet. And I'm like, no, that's not.
You kind of admire the effort.
Steve Urkel got Laura Winslow after 9 seasons.
The 90s was full of that shit. Like, the 90s was based on the Pepe Le Pew theory. Like, if you chased a woman long enough and beat her down emotionally, not physically, she will eventually give in. And she'll be like, you know what? Love.
Barring the fact that Aaliyah is a survivor, victim, but she made the theme song, Try Again.
What? Did not know it. What?
The Aaliyah song, Try Again. Can't get me once.
Oh,
I see you, Jamani. Sometimes you put it together. You put it together, Jamani. All right. The Nike should have came back. The store should have came back. Reese's family should have came back. I thought it was a wasted storyline. Sister being a lesbian should have came back. What do you think? What do you think if they did somehow end up together? If Reese and Bruce somehow worked it out where they could share a woman on like special occasions?
I mean, that's where I thought this was going.
Black Mirror. That's all I was thinking about. Is it really gay? Yes.
Is what really gay?
So in Black, you remember the Black Mirror episode with the two best friends were fucking each other on the game?
So they're gonna play video games with each other?
No, I'm saying though, like, is it if your girlfriend or wife, hopefully, occasionally licks a woman, and you know said woman, and you used to be with said woman for the record, like let's say she like, is it really gay though? Is she really gay, or is she just taking a vacation? That's what I'm saying.
She's bisexual.
Got to label it and everything. For some reason, that was not on the table though. This is to your point, Stacey. It's interesting that was not on the table as an option.
Exactly. I thought Bruce was gonna walk in through that whole finger looking good scene and just kind of get it, or at least watch on the sideline. Like, okay,
hey, this if I would have wrote that, let me tell you, this guy. But Stacey, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that that segue, because that scene went on a lot longer than I thought it was going to, and I'm like, I felt uncomfortable at some point. I'm like, this is too much. Like, let's get to something else. I was not prepared.
This was like the climax of 3 seasons. It was like,
yo. So thank you, Jamani. I love. Let's go down this road. I thought that was going to be when they started kissing, I'm like, oh, this is the last episode, season 4. Because that's a great season finale. Stop right there. What happens now that the two frenemies are now together? What happens next season? So I was like, oh, then another episode popped up. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh, okay, we still going with this shit. I was like, all right, let's see what happens. Then Bruce shows up unannounced to tell these two women to stop showing up to his house unannounced. And I was like, what? Like, I'm tired of y'all.
And then Reese shows up to his house unannounced.
The next day. And she's like, no. I gotta talk to you. And he's like, I may not let you in, so please don't show up, because if you show me the titties, I'm gonna be like, let's do this one more time, girl. And I was like, what is happening? Like, why? But his speech was like, that's an ending of a movie when the character's like, I can't be with either one of you, and neither one of you really wanted to be with me, and you got your own stuff to work out, and I hope you guys are happy. I'm gonna move on and have a nice life and just go off. And I'm like, there you go. We can all be homies. That somehow all of them should have been sitting at the movies. What Tate, fucking Reese, all of them just hanging out, enjoying a basketball game. That's how it should have ended, to show that they're all just homies, to get back to the title. I'm saying, because their friends were not happy about this, especially Jason. Jason was hating. I think he was jealous. Tate was just mad that it was messing up his friendship. And I loved it. I loved it. So let's talk about Tate and Amber. So Amber is E's sister, and Tate was therefore E's homie. And he's like, yo, bro, you my nigga, whatever. And I'm banging your sister. She's like, don't bang my sister. I know how you are with women. That happened twice in this series. And he's like, but no, this is the one that I really want to be banging. And I'm like, he took too long, though. How could you, Stacey, you're the woman. Can you be with a man who's not only shorter than you, which would be difficult, but shorter than you, and somehow scared to tell your sister that we're together? Like,
I mean, the sister is much bigger than he is, so
you would understand.
Maybe.
Let's back it up one more time. Would you date a man that was shorter than your sister and therefore somehow physically scared of her?
No.
My point.
Well,
like,
how How much shorter?
Look at this dude. Like, I feel like
I'm saying in this scenario, he's a lot smaller than her. So I feel like she could just like boop,
boop,
and then just so in
yeah.
some cases I understand. But just dating a guy who's ashamed to like present you to the world is just not a good deal anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like, "Hey, girl, we're gonna fuck when nobody else knows." I'm like, disrespectful. This disrespectful.
Right.
What, girl? I'll give you my draw anyway. Not my draws. Jamani, could you date a man? No, I'm kidding. I just want to share the question. I'm just trying to be equal opportunity here. What side story do you feel had the most oomph that you were like, this is hilarious, or this is something you actually gave a damn about?
I just thought what's his name, Jason? He was funny in season 2 when he was going through his, like, I don't know what the hell that was, with her coming out and saying she's pregnant while he was on the phone, and basically just them cock blocking each other.
Hilarious. Then he ran out to the car and tried to beat up somebody, and it turned out to be an Uber or some shit. Like,
that's what I was trying to figure out. But you don't have like the same Uber all the time. So
right?
Maybe it was just like her gay bestie that she was pretending.
That's what it was. He was gay, right? It was.
Yeah, that was the gay guy or whatever, where he said, I'd be fucking you before I'd fuck her.
Why did Bruce write that? And I was like, well, I mean, thank you. I was like, you're probably getting it. I was like, I don't know. Is that a compliment? I'm not sure how to take that. But I thought that was Jason was hilarious. Just his delivery was just hilarious, and the way he was shitting on Bruce. I actually liked the counselor even once Bruce started to become the client, like his effort to kind of like, what does this mean to me? Like, I'm gonna write a book, and like I'm trying to be mature, and what does it mean to yourself? Like, it doesn't make you not straight just because you love these women, but you want to move on. I thought it was maturity. It showed like character development, and he's trying to be somewhat a little bit more mature about this whole situation. Him eating chips though cracked me up. Like, I don't know how many like he's like, hey man,
it was always the end of the bag,
right? He was, damn, this was good. You want some chips too? I'm like, I'm paying for this shit. Like, we're eating chips together, bro. Like, this should be free. Like, I think he should have said that. Like, hey, if I'm paying you, let's stop eating chips and focus. Like, shouldn't you be taking some notes or something? I was like, he was like, no. She a lesbian, huh? So how lesbian was she? You know what I'm saying? Details. I was like, anyway.
Is it just me, or does Bruce look like he could play in the reboot of Family Matters as Carl Winslow?
Yes, a younger one, but yes, I could see that. And Persephone could be the mom, please. Yes. I like where you're going with this, Jamani. I like where you're going with this. In fact, let's bring back the whole cast somehow. So then Tate could be the best friend of new Carl Winslow. You know what I'm saying? Let's do that. Jason could be the neighbor, because they never had neighbors really. You know what I'm saying? It was just like them. Like they need neighbors. You know what I'm saying? So
Urkel was their neighbor.
No, I'm saying like legit, like adult neighbors. Like, and then Urkel took over the show. That's what I'm saying. That's a different problem with that show. But like that, I want to see that. I want to see that. But anyway, what's next for these actors, if you can call them that? Besides OnlyFans, let's go.
I don't know. Like, I would check out whatever next rendition of something they do. With To the Max Productions or whatever you want to call it.
I think like Crystal's slipper. I think it was Glass Slipper. I think that's one.
Yeah, glass slipper.
I think it was on Patreon too. Like when season 3 dropped, I was concerned I wasn't gonna be able to see it on YouTube because I think it was like a Patreon show or some shit. I'm like, I'm not doing no Patreon. I'm like, just put it on YouTube. And eventually, no, it was on YouTube. And so I put it on Tubi. Also, yeah. So we're gonna wrap this up. The fingers. There's a lot of fingers. Like the whole sex scene between E and Reese, I was like, there was a lot of finger licking and sucking, and I was like, it's a lot, and I was like, I was not prepared for all those fingers. I just want to let you know, there's a lot.
There was a lot of motioning and positioning, but like I didn't actually see.
But you were
Yeah,
looking.
yeah. I didn't actually see who would like if they're because they at the end they said I'm not gay or what have you because they're
I
both.
don't even.
So I'm like,
What?
who is using the straps?
The fingers? Well, I feel
There
okay. So,
straps.
Stacy, what's up?
There weren't any straps. It was just using the tools you were born with. Actually, works pretty good for what I hear. I don't. Um, don't be looking at me like that. I told you I got lesbian homies. Okay, they talk about stuff.
They talk.
They do.
Have they ever been like, hey, you don't need a man? Let me show you why.
No, no, no. They just,
They respect your boundaries.
But I'm like, all right. So with this, right, it was like all the studs are in a friend
we'll
group
get
of
back to
their
this.
own, but there's not like a femme lesbian
Yeah.
group. So I'm like, when do those friend groups not mesh together or?
So this is where, Jamani, thank you for bringing up this point. This is where I felt like this is not realistic because like a stud is with a femme, and therefore you can't two studs like they cancel each other out. So it was all like they were all like studs, but they were like very femme studs because a man put this show together. Like that one bald-headed lesbian that was playing football, like basketball. Now that's a stud. Now that's realistic. But he was like, I ain't trying to see that shit.
There's
What's up?
layers. Like you have the studs, you have the tomboys, you have the femmes. Like these were more tomboys, I would presume. They would be in that category, even though they refer to themselves as studs. I guess that's like the female equivalent of a top and a bottom. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what.
But studs, I think they don't typically like being penetrated, whereas femmes or I think tomboys can go either way. I'm not exactly sure. I have to ask for clarification on that.
I love
But
how you use your fingers to explain this, to be honest.
yes, because fingers are important, so I hear. Anyway, I forgot where I was going with this. I really did.
Well, so this is why I'm my whole reason I bring it up is because I feel like especially a lot of
femmes and studs don't hang out together. Not really. Oh, I recently learned that a lot of studs are only that way because they like femmes. Because apparently in the Black community, femmes and femmes don't really go together for some reason. So it's easier to catch a femme as like a stud than as a femme.
Yes.
Which, like, if I were to cross over, I would want a girl. I wouldn't want a girl to act like a dude. So it's kind of confusing to me, but I've heard that they project more masculinity to get the femme because they like femmes.
I feel like that makes sense though, that even in the gay community there is still a balance of yin and yang. Like they're still there. So it's like if I'm a woman, I'm looking if I'm a stud, then I'm not looking for myself. I'm looking for the opposite and vice versa. So it makes sense that they would be a couple, which I was like, you don't see a lot of that kind of
seeing is they're not really studs. Like they don't want to walk around looking like dudes. They don't want to wear boxers. But in order to get the type of woman they want, that's what they present.
But you didn't see a lot of that in here. These are more like tomboy hood niggas or something like it's. And I feel like Bruce had a lot to do with that. That like, so we're talking about fellow traveler. So if you are straight and like we've always seen the gay community through straight people eyes, and especially with women, like the L word was very. I feel like except for what's the real dyke one? Fuck. What was her name? Shane was like legit lesbian. Like that was like everybody else was just pretending. Like she was legit. You know what I'm saying? But like everybody else was like long haired and feminine and shit because they like that's what people want to see. Like you don't want to see fucking like Ellen DeGeneres for real, and watch. You don't want to see that shit. But that's a real lesbian. But you don't want that. Like you want the good looking lesbian. You know what I'm saying? So like
No,
a
I'm
whole
like
bunch of
Ellen DeGeneres.
is-
Ellen DeGeneres can still like you don't want the Rosie O'Donnells. Like
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
You don't want that shit. You don't want Ellen. You don't want Rosie. You know what I'm saying? You don't want you want like Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct, who's like she look good as fuck and she likes a woman. Like you know what I'm saying? That's not realistic. That's not very common. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying my point is, Fellow Traveler was like legit. Like it is too much. Like you, if you're not prepared, you're gonna be like, oh shit, this is legit. Like I don't think they made a lesbian version that legit. Like it probably wouldn't do very well. But this ain't it. Like this is just funny though. But good care. Should this has been a movie? That's our next. I want real quick, Jemani. Do you think this was a good show, or do you think they could have did? There's probably 2 movies in it, but like, do you feel like movie? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm like from the way that they shot it, it could have been a Tubi movie if they stacked the episodes together and because I'm like every episode was previously on and this season on at the end. So it was like, yeah, if you take out those 5 minutes of that time, yeah, you could piece together about 2 movies.
All right. But story, do you feel like it was a story worthy telling in a journey? Like a series was good to kind of tell the story of the characters, is what I'm asking. Was it worth a series?
Yeah. I'm like, even with the side characters, they didn't really go anywhere or do anything, but it wasn't annoying. Like it wasn't like, yeah, I'm really tired of hearing about these people or what have you. It was tolerable.
Let's say that. Because I would say Davion and Selena were annoying as fuck. And I didn't.
No, what was annoying was the whoever Reese's friend was and Reese's brother. Like, yeah, that was annoying. I'm waiting so that to show you how special you are, and then yeah, we're gonna do it now and all. I was just like, who cares?
All right, Giovanni, come on, let's wrap this up. Any final words?
Yeah, I'm here for it. It was funny, and anything that was said that could be taken the wrong way, even if it was by me, I indemnify myself and like, comment, and subscribe, and tolerance and freedom and all, rainbow flags and liberty. And
all right, Giovanni,
I'm an ally.
There you go. That's what. Just say that, Giovanni. I'm an ally. There you go. We appreciate you, Skittles and all. All right. Boop. All right. All right. Come on, Stacey. What you got?
The Dominican dude that didn't speak Spanish, I didn't know what his point was, but okay.
Carlos.
This worked because of the women that they chose, obviously. If you want to see some fuckery with studs, watch Hoochie Daddies on Tubi. I think I made it 5.7 minutes into it, and it was rough. Like those girls were absolutely terrible.
Is it a reality show or scripted?
Yes, it's a house full of studs.
Oh man, but like legit ones.
Legit studs. It was terrifying. Yeah. So again, if I were to cross over for some damn reason, I want a girly girl. Don't give me none of that hoochie daddy shit. Like I cannot. Hopefully I can find somebody my size so we can share clothes and shoes and do each other hair and shit. Like
you want to fuck yourself? Is that what you said?
I mean, I'm awesome. Why not? Like, why wouldn't I want to be with that?
I'm just saying, what is that? Like, what you're just looking for yourself. You want something different, something to explore.
If
I
I
mean,
want something different, I get a damn man. Like, it just.
all right. I'm just saying, you were like somebody your own
Hello.
size and shit. I hear.
Okay.
Hey,
Please like,
any-
comment, subscribe. 500
any-
views.
thank you, sir. Any cute lesbians out there looking for an option? Stacey said, and you're in the Atlanta area. Please leave a comment.
I'll be a straight up pillow princess. I ain't licking nothing.
Yo,
Pillow princess.
yo, hey, I can't believe that's the only shit we learned from Queens. God, I hated that show. All right, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Everybody for commenting. This is a good show. Like, I know we crap with a lot of shows. I know you think that's what we do for a living. Like, this was a good show. Let me say it again. You really should check it out. It is absolutely hilarious. The writing is good. The acting was they were committed. It was over the top in ways, but it will keep you entertained. It will definitely keep you entertained. So please like on the video, comment on the video, share the video. We got 2 more things coming up. I don't know what we're doing next. I can't remember, but we're gonna move on to the next room. And then we got Yellowstone. I know that. What are we doing now? I can't. Yellowstone. What are we doing today? What's up?
The Queen's Men.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So we got to do Tyler Perry. Anyway, speaking of lesbians, so we're gonna get into Blue and her backstory and that kind of thing. Apparently, she got some more backstory going on. Anyway, see y'all till the next video. I will say thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. I see people watching, people in the chat.
I enjoy the view. I don't know what the fuck I was watching.
Rewatch this when we're done. Rewatch this. You'll see what we're talking about. You're gonna be like, oh shit.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
What? You want to go there?
Oh shit. Stacey, do your thing. Fuck that shit.
But anyway, please like and share and comment on the video and all that kinds of stuff. As they say, we're just gonna end this broadcast and say bye.